Hello my friends and happy new year. It is 2022. This is my first video of 2022 and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not excited to film this video, and here's why. This is my December wrap up and I read 20 books in December. I know, that's crazy. That's my best reading month to date, which is funny because mentally it was probably my worst mental health month of the entire year. Well, I don't know if that's true, but it was a very bad mental month for me. But I guess I just like consumed a bunch of books, so you know, whatever works, I guess. And now I have to talk about all 20 of these books, and I am not excited because I have a feeling this is going to be the longest video I've ever done in my entire life, so buckle in. So if the synopsis is short and I'm not talking as much as usual, which I can't really promise that because I talk way too much, but if you notice that, it's just because I'm not trying to make this video 3 hours long, because I feel like realistically it could be 3 hours long, and I don't want to edit that, and I don't think you want to watch that. So we have 20 books, 2 DNFs, so 22 books technically, but I didn't read those all the way through, so 2 DNFs, 20 books. I have nothing below a 3-star and nothing above a 4.5 star. So this is a wild month. Let's just start because this is gonna be a video. So my first DNF was Hark, the Herald Angels Scream. This is a short story Christmas horror story collection. I actually made it fairly far, as you can see. I made it to page like 213, so I actually made it a decent bit over halfway, but I didn't like this. I think I read about 12 stories in here, and I think I only liked 3 of them, maybe 4. So I just got so tired. I was like, I don't care if this is a Christmas horror story collection. I don't want to read this anymore. I'm done. Yeah, so I don't know. I just didn't love the stories. Some of them were very weird and just meh. Like I said, there was only like 2 or 3, maybe 4 that stood out as like really good. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people liked this, but I couldn't get into it. And short stories are just so hit or miss, especially when it's a big collection like this with so many different authors and so many different types of horror. It's not always gonna be a hit. So unfortunately, this was just not fun for me, so I stopped reading it. Maybe I'll finish it because there's not that much left. I might try to get back into it. Maybe next year I'll give it another go during Christmas time, but yeah, I don't know. It just didn't hit me. It wasn't fun. I wasn't excited about it. The next and last DNF was The Shadow People by Graham Masterton. I got this through NetGalley, so I got an ARC of it, and oh my goodness, I don't like this book. I made it about 40% into the story. I DNF'd at 40%, and I have so many issues with this story. It is supposed to deal with cults and cannibalism and, you know, that kind of stuff, so I was like, oh, okay, you know, that sounds good. I like cults, I like cannibalism, and so I was like, you know, this sounds like I could really like it. So this book does have the main characters, they are like detectives, which I don't typically love books that center around detectives, crime thrillers, crime horror from like the police perspectives. I'm not really a fan of them because I just don't care about like the detectives doing their job or anything like that. It's not my cup of tea. I just don't care for their like point of view. But like I said, cults, cannibalism, I was like, I'll give it a go. So my problems with this book are so many. First off, I think some of the language and like some of the things that the characters said were like super insensitive and really like discriminatory. Like, they made some comments that were really like transphobic about a man in a dress, and then there were some comments about different cultures, like people from Pakistan, and I was just like, I don't like this. It made me feel icky. I don't know. I didn't like the language used, and some of the comments, I don't know, they just came off real icky feeling. Another thing I didn't like is all the female characters were described by like their bodies and their like physical features, which I also hate, especially when one of the female characters, who is the like partner to the main detective dude, and she's like super intelligent. She knows so much. She's listing off things left and right. She's super intelligent, and the detective guy's just like, oh wow, I like have a big crush on you. You're like hot. And it's like, she's so smart and you're not? So why are you the main character when she could be the main character and she knows more than you, and you're just demeaning her to like your love interest? Ugh. Was so gross. She was way more knowledgeable and honestly a better like detective, so I was kind of annoyed by that, but you know. My other big problem was like the POC characters. There were quite a bit of them, which I think the author was trying to make it seem very, you know, representation, woohoo. But all the POC characters came off very, I don't know, jokey, and like they were the butt of the joke, like they were the bad guy. I don't know, it felt weird, it felt icky, I wasn't into it, and I was just cringing so much. I was like, this is coming off so insensitive and problematic that I can't keep reading this. So I DNF'd it. And honestly, I will probably not pick up another book by this author for a while, if ever, just because this has put me off so incredibly much. Yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Alright, we are moving on to my 3/3.5 star ratings, and I am actually mixing 3 and 3.5 this month because some of the books I'm going to mention, I don't know if I am rating it a 3-star or a 3.5 because I can't decide how I feel. But yeah, so I'm just kind of mixing my 3 and 3.5 stars for the fact that I can't make a decision on how I feel about some of these books. Okay, let's talk about this book, which is going to be hard to talk about because I don't know how I feel about it. So this book is Eileen by Otessa Moshfegh. I still don't know if I'm saying their name right. I literally don't know how I feel. I finished it and I kind of was just like, what did I read? This is supposed to be a really dark thriller about the main character who has a really like crappy life. She's just like over taking care of her dad, who's an alcoholic, and she's just kind of, you know, going through life, and then a new person shows up at her work and she becomes kind of obsessed with her and they become friends, and then they do something bad and they end up, I mean, like they commit a crime together and it leads them down this like dark road. So this is supposed to be like a really dark, disturbing book. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, like, I think some of it is disturbing and some of it is dark, but to me it's not really what I was expecting. The characters were all unlikable, which I assume was the point. I'm pretty sure they are supposed to be unlikable. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this. I think it's just a solid 3-star. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It just, I don't know. It just felt odd. To be fair, this is my first book by this author, and I think this is just kind of how the author writes. I can't tell. I don't have a good grip on how my feelings were on it. And I'm disappointed, but also it was weird. So I know that that's not a really good summary of my feelings, but that's because I don't really know my feelings in the first place, so I'm very sorry. Next up we have a Christmas romance. I told you I was gonna read several of those, and they are here in this pile scattered throughout, but the first one we are going to talk about is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Okay, so this book is about this woman who is standing outside a window display when this man kind of walks up to her and he's like, what do you think of it? And she critiques it, and then he's like, hey, you should apply for the job to be the window dressing person. And then she does, and then they work together and other things happen and romance, you know? I really thought I was gonna get this like cutesy, romancy book. This is very smutty, and I was like, whoa. I thought this was just gonna be cute. So I was definitely shocked. I think overall it was good. I don't know. It's kind of taking place during current day, so like the pandemic is also happening in the book, which I felt was like a little weird because I didn't like reading about that. I was trying not to think about that, so that was a little off-putting, but overall I think it was okay. I liked it enough to finish it. It didn't like put me off. I don't think it was bad. I'm stuck between a 3 and a 3.5 because I did enjoy it for the most part. I think it's just not what I was expecting it to be, so I was kind of like thrown off, and then I just wasn't like as into it as I wanted to be. But overall I don't think it's like a bad book. It's just not quite what I had expected. Next up is another book that I still don't know how I feel. And that is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This was one of my most anticipated reads of December. I was very excited to read this because I had seen so many people obsess over this book and just love it and scream about it from the rooftops, and everyone was just like, yes, this is an amazing book. I am super here for it. So I was really excited. I was like, this is gonna be a good winter thriller. This is gonna tickle all my fancies, and you know, it's just gonna hit all the marks. Yeah, I don't know. You know, okay, so this is about a husband and wife who are struggling with their marriage, and they win this trip to this remote location, and they're like, this is gonna fix our marriage, and it's gonna be snowing, and we're gonna be like all cozy together, and it's gonna be great. But you know, they have underlying issues, and then when they get there, things start getting weird. Yeah, this isn't what I expected it to be. It was interesting. I liked the setting a lot, and I liked the atmosphere. I thought that was really, really good, but I don't know. There wasn't that much like thrilling parts for me. I just felt like some of it was like a little lackluster. I thought some of the twists were like, I don't know, not really what I wanted them to be. I don't think they were necessarily like bad. I don't think the book's bad. I just don't think it's what I anticipated. So I was a little let down. I don't know, it just felt meh. And when the twist happened and the ending happened and it all came together, I was just kind of like, I mean, I guess it's fine. It was a fine ending. So again, I don't know if this is a 3 or 3.5. It's just not really what I expected it to be. I had extremely high expectations, and I think that's kind of why I don't care for it as much. I think it's just because I had such high expectations. I really thought this was gonna be like knocking my socks off, but I just felt a little underwhelmed. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. It was decent. It kept my attention. I wanted to know what was going on, but I don't know, the twists were just not that exciting, and I just wasn't like, I wasn't on the edge of my seat. I was just more like, okay, let's find out what's happening next. So I don't know. It was just okay. The next book on my list is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. So this I had a theme going on with thrillers and winter settings, obviously. But this is about a group of friends who every year celebrate New Year's together, and they decided to rent out this cabin in this remote location with all the snow, and it's, you know, gonna be great. But they all have like secrets that they're hiding from each other, and then one of them ends up dead, and then, you know, you're trying to figure out who did it. So this is that trope where a bunch of friends who actually don't really like each other hang out every year because I don't know why. For some reason, this is a very popular trope in thrillers where a bunch of people never actually like each other. They just always continue to hang out with each other, which drives me insane, by the way. Like, why? I actually didn't hate this book. I really liked the setting. I didn't really care about any of the characters, to be fair. I knew who had died really early on. That was really obvious to me. They don't tell you, it's like a secret up until the end, but I thought it was fairly obvious who had been killed. The ending, however, is where I have an issue. I feel like the ending was a giant cop-out, and the author just didn't want to like make a good ending, and they just went with like this kind of lame ending. I don't know. I just was like, the ending was just like, seriously, we're gonna go down this route? Why? That's dumb. Because I was really interested in the whole book, and then the ending was just kind of like, what? So, you know, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. This is kind of what I wanted The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce to be. I did enjoy it for the most part, minus the ending. But, yeah, I mean, you know, it was okay. The ending really, like, was just meh for me. And I didn't care enough about the characters to really care who had been killed and who had done the killing. So overall, it was just a fairly average standard thriller in my opinion. Next up, we have The Haunting of Blackwood House by Darcy Coates. This is just a 3-star for me. So this is about Mara, who grew up with parents who were spiritualists. So she grew up believing in ghosts and mediums and seances and all that kind of jazz. But she thinks it's all fake, and she kind of just doesn't even want to believe in religion or any of that. She doesn't talk to her parents anymore. And then she purchases this house, obviously Blackwood House, and it is haunted, and she has to kind of come to terms with her past and her present, and you know. This was fine. This was okay. I thought Mara was really annoying. She drove me insane. As someone who hates the really skeptic characters in haunted house stories, I don't mind when people try to explain, you know, paranormal things in more normal ways than just going straight to the paranormal. It's fine, I don't mind that, but when it takes you literally 90% of the book to figure out that, hey, maybe ghosts are real, I just, no, stop. It's so infuriating to me. I understand that not everyone believes in ghosts, but holy guacamole, it was just so annoying, and I was just wanting to shake her. I was like, girl, wake up, get with the program, okay? I didn't hate the book, it was just, she made it super annoying, to be honest. But overall, I liked the story. I liked the house's history. I liked how it ended. I thought it was good. I just, you know, had some issues with it, and I didn't think it was anything super special or one of Darcy's, like, best books, but it was just okay for me. Next up is The House Next Door by Darcy Coates, and this one's a little bit different because the main character actually lives next door to a haunted house, and when this woman moves in and they become friends, and then she gets kind of roped into the hauntedness of the house and, you know, all that kind of jazz. I liked this. I think I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was good. I liked that it was different. I liked that the main character didn't actually live in the haunted house this time and it was next door, but I don't know. It wasn't like my favorite Darcy either. It was okay. You know, I liked it enough. I wanted to know what was happening. I liked the little twists that were happening. It was different. I was liking the difference between this one and the others. It just didn't hit me like some of the other books that Darcy does. Next up is the 4-star category, and I'm not gonna lie to you all, this is the biggest category I have. Pretty much all of the rest of the books, minus one, is in the 4-star category. So buckle in. We have a lot of books to talk about. I hope I'm going fast enough. So first up in the 4-star category is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine Valenti. So I don't really know how to explain this book. I'm gonna let you go in blind. You know what? That's it. But it's a very short novella, and I actually really liked this. I think the writing is very beautiful. It's very, I don't know, like soft and poetic, and just, I don't know, there's like a nice flow to the writing. I think it's very, very beautiful. I like that the book kept me in the dark 90% of it. I had no idea what was going on. I kept trying to guess what the book was doing, and I was really wrong until it hit me and I went, oh my god, I know what's happening. And then I went through the entire book and I kept connecting things I hadn't connected before, and I was like, oh my goodness, there are so many little details in this book that you just don't notice until the very end when everything comes together, and I really, really liked that. You can tell that a lot of thought went into the story and the writing, and it was just really well done. I really, really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people won't, especially when you find out what it is. I think a lot of people will be disappointed, because I know I was a little at first. I was kind of like, this is what it is, I guess. But I enjoyed it in the end. I think it's gonna be a hit or miss for most people. But overall, I did really like it. I thought it was a really well written book. The next book on my list was actually sent to me by the publisher, so that is super, super nice. It was sent to me by Source Books Landmark, and it is True Crime Story by Joseph Knox. So this is actually a very interesting book. This is a mixture of true crime and fiction. So it's told through interviews and emails, and you read it as though it's true. It's written as if it's true, and a lot of times I was getting really confused. I was like, wait, is this a true story? I kept having to double check, but this is fiction. This isn't real. It just feels very real, which I think I enjoyed because I love true crime, but sometimes reading it, I just get kind of bored because there's just so much detail that goes into true crime books, and sometimes it can get overwhelming and it can just be a lot. This book is about Zoe Nolan, who goes missing 3 months after moving to Manchester to study at Manchester University. She attends a party and then she's never seen again, and the interviews are with her friends and her family and people she knows and stuff like that, and it's very, very interesting because I really didn't know who to trust the entire time, and I kept thinking, well, you have a motive. You have a motive. You have a motive. And so I kept like trying to piece it together, and I was actually surprised. But I really liked this book. I also liked that the author put himself into the book, and he's like his own character. It's very interesting. It was a very fun, very different kind of format, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I think if you like true crime and you like that aspect, but you want to read something that's not actually fact, you want to read something that's on the fiction side, I think this would be a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool. Next up is a book that I was anticipating the release for. I was very excited about this book, and honestly, mostly because of the cover. I know, I'm ridiculous. What can I say? But it is These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. Look at that cover. Isn't it beautiful? Anyways, so this is a thriller, and it's basically about a dad and his daughter who live off the grid, and there are secrets involved, you know, staying low, not trying to draw attention to themselves, that kind of thing. And I love isolation settings like that. You know that. I love it. I thought it was a perfect winter read because it does take place in the winter as well in this isolated setting. It was very cool. But this isn't what I expected it to be. So the first half of the book is very slow. It's a lot of setup, it's a lot of talking, it's just a lot of nothing really happening. So I wasn't that into the book halfway in. I was kind of like, ugh, this is not turning out to be what I wanted it to be. I'm kind of disappointed. But then the second half of the book really, really saves it for me. It was a beautiful story. It just took kind of a long time to get where I wanted to be. I don't think this is as thrillery as I wanted it to be. There aren't that many moments of thrilling times. Again, the second half I think is more thrilling, but again, I think it lacks a lot of that like thrilling nature, which is a little unfortunate, but I do think it's a really well written story and I was intrigued and I did keep reading it, and like I said, the second half is so good. I was sobbing at the end, absolutely sobbing. I cried for like a good 5-10 minutes because it just really wrecked me. It was a really emotional ending. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars because I really felt like the second half saved the book for me. But just be warned, it is kind of slow. It kind of drags a bit, you know. But it is a really good story. Next up, Let the Right One In. This was actually a book that I really wanted to read before the end of 2020. Well, I almost just said 2022. See, I already knew I was going to get confused. I wanted to read by the end of 2021 because I watched the Swedish film earlier that year. No, I was just excited to read it and see if I liked the book more, if I liked the movie more. So this book I was hesitant about because it is a chunky book. It's a chunker. You know how I feel about chunky books. They can put me in slumps, but I did power through this one and I didn't get into a slump, so that was nice. But I have mixed feelings about this book. I liked it. I think I prefer the movie only for the sole reason that it focuses more on Oscar and Ellie. And in the book, there are several point of views that I just didn't really care for. I was just, they kind of bored me. I just wanted more Oscar and Ellie, to be honest. That's really what I wanted. I just wanted them, and I wanted them to be the main focus, but you do get other POVs, and I do understand why we get them. I understand the thought process behind them. It's just personally, they didn't interest me as much. So I was just kind of like, oh, all right, get back to the people I want to see, you know? I do think it's a little long. For me personally, it's just not the length that I would choose to go for. And then the other thing is I kind of wanted this to explain more things because I had a lot of questions after the movie, but I kind of still have more questions after the book. I feel like it didn't answer everything that I wanted it to answer. It kind of left me with more questions. So I'm a little sad about that just because I thought I was going to get more explanation, but I mean, maybe that was just me thinking I was, and then that was just not the thing that was gonna happen. So I mean, maybe that's just my fault for expecting more, but yeah, I had more questions. I wanted a little bit more information. I think that was my big thing, but otherwise I really enjoyed the book. I think it's a great story. Again, I highly recommend the movie. The movie's great. I prefer the Swedish version over the American version, but yeah, I mean, it's a good book. I think it's a solid book. I just had a few things that I didn't love about it, which is why it's not a 5-star. But overall, I enjoyed it. Next up, we have Krampus the Yule Lord by Brom. I'm again not going to talk about this one too much because I did do a reading vlog featuring Krampus, if you want to see that. So, yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought it was a fun, Christmassy read. I really liked Krampus as a character. He was my favorite. I really liked the plot between Krampus and Santa. I thought that was really fun. I liked the mythology that was involved in the story. I've seen some people say they didn't love it because it's not super accurate, but I thought it was fun. I think the artwork is absolutely beautiful. Like always, Brom is just uber talented. The only thing I didn't love about the book was the ending, and the main character kind of irritated me 80% of the time. I still prefer Slewfoot, okay? I still prefer Slewfoot. I do think this one is worth a read though. I really enjoyed it. I just think Slewfoot checked all my boxes and this one didn't, so. But I still loved it. It was still good. I can see myself picking this up every Christmas and reading it just for fun and for like atmosphere, you know. Next up we have another Christmas romance, and that is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This was a lot of fun. This is, you know, Christmas romance meets Groundhog's Day. So the main character has to relive this time several times to get it right and figure out what's missing. It was really cute. I really liked the family. I don't know, it was a good Christmas read. This was actually my first one of the month. I almost said of the year, obviously, but of the month. This was the first one I dipped my toes into, and I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was really cute. It was an easy read. There wasn't like that much to it. I also just really like the Groundhog's Day theme. I really like when a character has to relive a day or a week or a time several times to get it right. I don't know. I don't know if that's like a popular opinion. Do people like that trope? I don't know, but I do. And so I liked that it was a Christmassy Groundhog's Day kind of vibe. I thought it was fun, and the ending was cute. It was just a very sweet book. It was just very cute and sweet. Not much else than that, but I liked it. Okay, so next up is, this is going to be a little confusing because of how I'm doing this, but this is House of Secrets by Darcy Coates, and this is actually the sequel to House of Shadows. So I'm talking about the sequel before I'm talking about the first book, because this one is a 4-star and I rated House of Shadows a 4.5. So you'll see that. It's going to be the last book I talk about because it was my highest rated in December. So I'm not going to talk about this one too much, but I thought it was a really solid sequel. I thought it was a good second part, you know, like I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. House of Shadows was much better in my opinion, but this was short. It was good. It just didn't have a lot of action. It was more of the characters doing a lot of like research and searching and trying to find like the answer to problems, that kind of thing. So there wasn't a lot like happening, but I liked the overall ending and I liked how it progressed from the first book to this one. I thought overall it was like a solid sequel. I liked it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was good. So next up is a book that I actually added last minute to my TBR. I'm pretty sure it came in the mail like 3 days before Christmas, so I really rushed to get it in there because I really wanted to read it. After hearing so many people talk about it, I was like, okay, you convinced me. I'm gonna read it. And that is Silent Night by R.L. Stine. It's a Fear Street book. It's a Fear Street super chiller. If you know me, I'm a big R.L. Stine fan. I'm a big Fear Street fan. I love R.L. Stine. He is the reason that I am a horror reader. Goosebumps and Fear Street really pushed me into the horror loving world at an early age, so I will always be grateful to those books. And I love Fear Street. They are so much fun. I will read Fear Street till the day I die. I don't care how old I am. It's never too late to read a Fear Street book is what I'm saying. But this one was so much fun. This might be one of my favorites. This was really good. This is about our main character, Riva, and she's kind of a mean girl, okay? She's got a lot of enemies. People don't really like her. She's kind of mean. Like, she's not a nice girl, okay? And then she starts receiving these presents from an anonymous source. So she's got a stalker, right? And, you know, things get out of hand and things get crazy, you know. It's a typical Fear Street. But this was so much fun. This was such a good read. I need the other two. I need Silent Night 2 and 3. If I don't get them, I will scream. I wish I had already gotten them because then I would just read them. I would have read them back to back. But this was really good. This was really good. R.L. Stine, he knows what he's doing, you know? Like, I can't fault him for that. So I really liked this. I actually really ended up enjoying Reva, her character. You really get to see why she's a mean girl, and I like that. I liked her. I thought she was a good character. So overall, loved this. So good. It was a lot of fun. Okay, next up we have another Christmas romance, and that is Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall. I really liked this one. This is a friends to lovers story, which I think is so good. It was really cute. Also, this had some steamy moments. I thought this was just gonna be really like cute and sweet and like Hallmark-esque, but wow, yeah, there were some parts and I was like, whoa, okay. Didn't expect it, but you know, not mad about it. So this is about Nick, who comes home from overseas and he's excited. He's like, yes, I'm gonna spend Christmas with my family and my girlfriend and my friends. It's gonna be great. But then his girlfriend's like, hey, I cheated on you. Sorry, not sorry. And, you know, he's upset. He's down in the dumps. So his best friend, Noel, is like, I got you. This is gonna be great. We'll be fine. And they have a night out together. Everyone's trying to cheer him up. It's a great time. But then Nick and Noel kiss. They kiss. And then, you know, they can't stop thinking about it. And they're like, wait, what if we like each other? So I like that. I like the whole friends to lovers thing. I think it's always really cute, and I don't know, I'm always rooting for the people that have known each other like their whole lives to get together, just because I think it's like super sweet and fun, and this was just a really cute story. I was laughing a lot and I was smiling and I was giggling. I just thought it was really cute. Overall, really happy with this one. I liked it a lot. Next up is our last Christmas romance book. I actually got more than I anticipated in. I didn't read all the ones I bought, but that's alright. I can save them or read them whenever I feel like. So the next one is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. So I rated this one 4 stars, and I went back and forth because it's super unrealistic. Like, this book is cheesy, and I mean real cheesy, really Hallmarky, really unrealistic, but honestly, I don't expect anything less from a Christmas romance, so I was kind of here for it. It was a little silly, a little like goofy, but I don't know. It was fun. It was lighthearted. I thought it was sweet. I enjoyed it. This book is about 2 twins who end up switching places. One of them is on a baking reality competition show thing in LA, and the other runs the family bakery in their hometown. The one in LA actually kind of has an accident, and she ends up losing her taste and smell, which is not great for the job that she's trying to do. So she begs her sister to switch places with her so she can do the show and then she can run the home bakery. And of course things don't go that smoothly, because why would they? And then throw in some romance and you got yourself The Holiday Swap. But no, this was cute. It was cheesy. It was dumb. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was dumb. Like, if you're after something that's like not super cheesy and, you know, like that, then maybe don't read this. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. Again, super unrealistic, but it was still fun. Next up is The Whispering Dead by Darcy Coates. This is book 1 in the Gravekeeper series. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this because I don't know, it sounded interesting. So our main character, Kira, she wakes up running from these people chasing her, but has no memory of herself. She doesn't remember anything. And she goes to this small town, and then she realizes that she can see ghosts. I actually really enjoyed it. I think this was a solid beginning to a series. I don't think I love it as much as I loved Voices in the Snow. Voices in the Snow was like amazing first book. So this one wasn't like as solid of a start for me, but I think it was a really good start. I'm very intrigued to see where the series is going. I love the characters. Oh, I'm so into the characters. Zoe, Mason, Daisy the cat. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're a great group. I think it's going to be so much fun with them. They're a lot of fun. So I'm really, really, really excited to see more of them. I'm excited to see what this series holds. I think this was a good start. It has a lot of unanswered questions in this one that I'm excited to see what lies ahead in the next book. So overall, very excited about this one. Next up is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This was my first Lisa Jewell book. I mentioned in a haul that I had a theory about this book after I read the synopsis, and I would like to say that I kind of predicted this whole book. Like the entire way. Like, it was so predictable. However, I really, really, really liked this one. I really did. Even though it was predictable, even though I knew what was happening and I knew where it was going and I wasn't shocked by much, I still really enjoyed it. I really liked the writing. I liked the storytelling. I was invested. I wanted to see it through, even though I was pretty sure I knew how this was gonna go, but I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was a good book. This book is about Laurel, who 10 years ago, her 15-year-old daughter went missing and she was never seen again. And she's basically just trying to put her pieces back together. Her marriage is over, she has other kids, but her life is just not whole anymore after Ellie disappeared. But then she meets this man and they hit it off. And he has this daughter who looks eerily similar to her daughter that went missing. Well, you know? So, again, I thought it was super predictable, but I really, really liked the story. I have already ordered 2 other Lisa Jewell books because I'm really interested to read more, because I really liked it. I liked the writing. I liked the storytelling. Did I think it was predictable? Sure. Was it still a lot of fun? Absolutely. Did the ending make me cry? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So overall, I'm pleased with it. Even if it was predictable, I still enjoyed it and I thought it was a lot of fun. Okay, the last book for our 4-star category. Thank God we are almost done, because this is a lot. I'm trying, you know, I'm trying so hard. Okay. The last book in the 4-star category is Ghost Camera by Darcy Coates. Now, I read this on my Kindle because I can't find it anywhere else. I can't find like a physical copy of this book, so I don't know if it's like out of print, and you can only get it on the Kindle. I used Kindle Unlimited because I'm pretty sure all of Darcy Coates' books are on Kindle Unlimited, so you know, in case you have a Kindle and you want to read some. But this was really short. I think it was only like 120 to 130 pages. Very, very fast paced. But this one was a lot of fun. It is about this woman who finds this Polaroid camera, and when she takes pictures with it, there are ghosts in the pictures. That's all I'm gonna say because it's really short and I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but this gave me major Say Cheese and Die vibes. If you ever read that Goosebumps book, Say Cheese and Die, that was the very first Goosebumps book I ever read, and I really liked it, so obviously I was a kid. I haven't read it since then, but it was one of my favorites. So all I could think about when I was reading this book was, this is like a grown-up Say Cheese and Die, and I kept laughing because I was like, this just reminds me so much of it. But it was fun. It was easy. It was quick. It was a good read. I thought there were some good creepy moments, but it was a little short. I feel like, you know, if it had like a little bit longer, it would have been like a really cool one. Just because I don't know, it didn't have as much build up as I would have liked, but overall it was a fun read. It kept my attention and it reminded me of a Goosebumps book, so I mean that's a win-win in my book. Okay friends, last book. This is it. We're almost done. Hang tight, we're almost there, okay? And so the last book is my 4.5 book, my only 4.5 star rated book, and that is House of Shadows by Darcy Coates. I didn't have any 5-star reads this month. I feel like this one could have been a 5-star. I took off half a star. I'll explain why. But this one surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna like this one as much as I did. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this one. This one just doesn't get mentioned a lot, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. So I'll give you a little brief synopsis. So this is about Sophie, and her family gets bankrupt. Basically, they have no money. So to save the family, she gets married to this man named Joseph. He's going to take care of her family if she marries him. And so she does, obviously. But Joseph has some secrets. His house is a little mysterious. There are things there that he hasn't told her about. And so she kind of just walks in blind to all of this with her new marriage and this new house and her new family and all these secrets. But I loved this. I really liked this. I love the little bit of romance that Darcy puts in her books, and I thought this one was fun. The only thing I didn't love is it's very insta-love heavy. I don't mind insta-love. It's not like my least favorite thing, but it is a little fast when it's just been like, oh, I don't know, like 14 days, and then she's like, I'm in love with him, and I'm like, girl, hold up, wait, there are things happening. Give it a second. But overall, it was really fun. I really, really liked it. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. It held my attention. It was fast-paced. There was a lot going on. I really liked it. I really liked it. Probably one of my favorites, to be honest. I say that a lot, don't I? I don't know. The Darcy Coates ranking video will be here soon, maybe. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it, but this will be in here, obviously. All of them will. So, yeah, overall, I thought this was a really, really, really great book. Oh my god. I am exhausted after talking about all those books. I really hope this video isn't 8 hours long. I really don't want to edit it. I'm going to be dead honest with you. Editing this is going to be a nightmare. And I hope it's not too long and you guys aren't killing me in your head. Like, I'm sorry. I tried my hardest to hopefully make this as short as possible. I talked as fast as possible. I kept it as short and sweet as I could. So, I'm sorry. That was my December wrap up. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of good books, actually. There were a lot of solid 4 stars in there. So I'm pretty pleased with that, actually. I'm really happy about that. I read a good amount of books, and I got done a lot, and I'm happy with it. I had a good reading month. I hope January is as well, since this is the start of 2022. I'm hoping that I just bust out a ton of good reads and I had a lot of fun, and I hope you do too. Please let me know what your favorite read of December was, what you're looking forward to in January. And I'm gonna stop talking because my voice is going out. I feel like you can kind of hear it. That means I've been talking too much. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you enjoy from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends, talk about books, movies, manga, horror, all things spooky. And with that being said, I hope you are having a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!